Have you ever noticed how LLM writes things up or gets confused like they're dreaming? That's a big problem, especially when lots of people try to write a story together online. It can get really messy. It's hard to keep the story making sense, know for sure who wrote which part, and decide fairly who owns the cool ideas that come up. Making this work wasn't easy. We had to solve some puzzles. How can we make LLM generation consistent with all the previous sentences? We are introducing first-order logic, which provides precise, rule-based reasoning that's more mathematically rigorous than natural language. How to help writers of all ages and skills. Our World Builder tool gives helpful hints and checks the rules behind as they write. How to easily know who created an idea maybe years later. Dag and Merkle proof show the whole history. What if people disagree about where the story should go? The system lets them fork the story, like choosing a different path in a game, so both ideas can be tried out. How to promise the story hasn't been secretly messed with? We use special math tricks, called Merkle proofs, to prove the story is correct and secure. Let's quickly look at how the system works behind the scenes, the system architecture. So, first, you have the writer, that could be you, using the World Builder front end. That's the website part you type your story ideas into. To help you out, there might be special helper agents built with any ARAI platform, maybe like an FOL writer buddy to help make sure your ideas fit the world's rules, and a fiction writer buddy to help with the story. Parts. Your contributions, along with the core FOL rules, are managed using GitHub. When you suggest a new story part, GitHub Actions automatically run checks to make sure your idea follows the FOL rules. Now, for the Web3 magic. Every contribution you make is confirmed with your wallet signature, proving it's you. And importantly, when something unique like Crypto Planet is discovered in the story, our Story Protocol MCP module kicks in. It talks to Story Protocol to mint that discovery, turning it into a registered IP asset on the blockchain. Finally, once everything is checked and verified by GitHub Actions, the system automatically updates the story files. The approved story text gets published as a website using GitHub pages, so everyone can read the latest version. Now let's actually see it in action. Our first story about trying to survive and discover new things on Mars, starting from the very first dangerous trips. All right, we're looking at our story, Dag. Mark's facing a critical decision on Mars after the initial crisis. Farm potatoes for immediate food or explore for water. These are two distinct paths anyone in the community could propose. Let's quickly see Path A. If Mark chooses potato farming, a contributor could use the builder, maybe even get AI suggestions, to flesh out this event. Committing this generates the necessary files, the FOL rules check passes, and maybe even a draft HTML output for this part of the story is created, ready for the next stage of validation. Okay, that was the farming route, but what if Mark took the gamble? What happens if we follow the water exploration path instead? Whoa, look at this! Following the exploration path triggers a major discovery event added by another user. Mark has found Crypto Planet. Because our system recognizes Crypto Planet as a unique, narrative-generated element, it automatically triggers our Story MCP module. This module interacts directly with Story Protocol, and just like that, the discovery of Crypto Planet has been minted as an intellectual property asset on the blockchain. There it is! The Crypto Planet NFT, registered via Story Protocol. Its existence, its origin tied directly back to that moment in our collaborative story on Mars, is now secured and verifiable on-chain. This is real-time, narrative-driven IP creation.